I like the challenge of working with wood, but I also really enjoy changing it into other disguises. But the sky's the limit. It can be as crazy as I can imagine.
Easy.
I get my inspiration from other mediums, from the world about me, from visits to museums, ceramics, plants. I'm always photographing things wherever I go. I take a little camera and photograph textures and nature. I've been very fortunate on my travels to visit many historical places and museums for inspiration. Stonehenge behind me is a little closer to home. Just being somewhere like this as an artist can give you a feeling or an idea for a piece of work that can be very useful, and it gets you out and about. I enjoy doing commissions. It's a great part of my life. But I'm teaching and demonstrating and writing, so it's nice to keep that a mixed bag. I've been very lucky with some special commissions from the royal family, Prince Charles, the late Lady Diana, the Royal Jewellers Aspreys in London, and many other prestigious clients. I've been very fortunate on my wood turning journey. That's why I do it. So I'm sitting in a hut circle, and a great place to come. Very inspirational. I like to imagine the people using wooden items in their daily life. This once would have all been completely covered in woodland. It's known as the Dartmoor Forest, and it's just something that I like to come and visit once in a while.
Heavy enough? Is it going to be?
It's a little dry, but we'll give it a go.
Some more
we'll give it a go, I think. Steve's weighty enough.
It's feeling wet.
Yeah. See what you think.
Yeah, it's heavy.
It's pretty wet. Isn't it?
It's good.
Good. Nice colour in it.
But cherry's good.
Yeah, that looks lovely. That'd be a nice bowl. I only need a couple, so that looks perfect. Ouch, prickly. This is a bit of monkey puzzle. Also known as Chilean pine, one of the oldest species of trees still alive today. Bleeds this funny gluey sap out of it, but people do like to turn it because it grows with a ring of branches all opposite each other, and if turned thin they are almost translucent, a sort of pinky red colour. So some nice pieces can be made from it if you're prepared to put up with the goo. But as I said, one of the oldest trees we know.
Do you know what I always say about this? People say, what's the smell?
Money.
Warm up.
Thanks, mate. Really appreciate it. I'll give you a ring, all right? I'll give you a call.
See you soon.
Thanks a lot, mate. I've spent the last 25 plus years learning the skill of turning, perfecting my ways of doing things. And now I really, really enjoy sharing and teaching what I've learned. It's so exciting when you see that you can give somebody those new skills to them to move forward in whichever way they choose to be making, whether it's a simple bowl or the more artistic side of things. I get all sorts of visitors here to my school, whether they're beginners or professionals that maybe think they can get some fresh ideas coming here, and that's really fulfilling. That's another great reason I do what I do. I love turning green wood. It's so nice without the dust. Once you have the bases of wood turning techniques. It's really nice to be able to just drive the tool around the shape, even if it's a bad shape. You can follow where you like to go, and it's really nice when you realise you have that freedom. There are no secrets in wood turning. It is just technique and practice. You learn the pressure on the tool. You learn when a tool is becoming blunt and at which point you need to go and sharpen. So it is time spent using your tools and the material you're using to turn which evolves your skills. That is the fairest answer. When you've had much practice, people often say, oh, but you've been doing it for ages, you're bound to make it look easy. Sometimes it's really nice when you sharpen a tool for somebody, you put it in their hand and you give them a direction to go from right to left, and they do it, and they look at you and say, wow, that was easy. Yes, it was. That's why you're here in my classroom, so that I can show you it's not so difficult. And the same way to sharpen as we do with the Tormek. When you show somebody the simple steps of to take a tool and get that result when they've been scratching at a piece of wood for years to try and make a shape out of it, life isn't so complicated. Okay, let's sharpen this gouge. Going to put it in the SVD 185 at a projection of 65 millimeters and lock it down. Before I put it on the T7, I'm just going to check that I have the wheel alignment. So both the little wheels turn at the same time. There we go. Lock that one down. Slide it on. Starting on the side with even pressure. One side to the other. We should be good. Now I'm going to move it over and hone it. Putting the paste on, a little at a time. Now I can use hole A again, so that I have got ensured the same distance, but this time I'm going to back it off about 1.5 turns so that I just polish the edge of the tool. Just the tip, plenty of pressure. Okay, and as this button says,
that was easy.
Didn't take long, did it? Let's go and see how it works. So the wood's a little rough as it's so rotten. Let's look and see if a freshly sharpened on the Tormek and I've polished the bevel, we can see the difference. I can already see the difference from the reflection behind the tool. I'm going to stop halfway so we can compare the torn grain. So if we now look at the beautiful smooth finish versus the torn grain we had before, it just shows you really what a sharp tool can do. That now means I can use softer material that I otherwise might have had to dispose of. You really do need a sharp edge for this. Let's continue the journey. That was a very greedy cut from a small gouge, but even at the end of that run, it's kept smooth all the way through the wood. Saves money on my sandpaper. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to hone my carving gouge, and I just polish these. I don't really bother to sharpen them on the stone because they don't need it. They are designed just to be polished. So just to keep that edge sweet, I'm going to adjust this, and my friend Stig gave me a good tip. I just use this as a leaning post more than anything. The wheel is going away from me, so I'm quite safe. I'm just going to approach from the top with a bit of pressure and roll side to side. Of course, you have to be careful and not lift the angle up so that you give yourself a counter bevel. So that's all we need for a beautiful edge. So a nice sharp edge. That's great. So this is sharpening, not shortening the tool. Sometimes I smile a little when people ask me how many gouges I may get through in a year, and somebody who production turns may get through 10, and I'm thinking I didn't buy one last year because I'm not wearing it down as fast. I'm just keeping it sharp. Makes sense to me. The really nice thing about the new TS740 workstation to keep your Tormek on, not only is it the great height, and there's places to keep your equipment to store them in, there's an extra drawer at the bottom, which is my favourite part, where you can keep something to celebrate at the end of the day just how sharp you got everything. Cheers.
Yeah, so they just get up and they just jam.
Excellent. Okay, let's go back.
Let's go to our table. Thanks a lot. I think it's important to be able to look down sometimes on what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, wood turning can be started from scratch with very little equipment. You can forage your own wood supplies and get very quick satisfaction in turning something. It's a never-ending journey. You never stop learning, and then be prepared for a rather onward-going collection of wood and tools. But it's the best thing I ever chose to do. I would never swap it. You'll be rich in life, but not in money. And it's taken me all around the world. And in my wildest dreams, I would never have dreamt some of the places I've been. But I did dream, and they came true. So I'm glad I stuck with it.
Attaboy!
Every piece of wood, when you open it, is a bit like a birthday present. Sometimes it's great, sometimes a little less. But that's the journey that's just never ending, really. It's great.